Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel Shraddha's Physics. In the previous lecture, we have already discussed about these degrees of freedom, and in this lecture, I will give you some more explanation about these degrees of freedom, and we will see some examples related to these degrees of freedom so that you can get a clear idea about these degrees of freedom. So let us start our topic, that is the degrees of freedom. Here we know independent the number of independent coordinates required number of independent coordinates required number of independent coordinates required to describe the motion of a dynamical system to describe the motion of a dynamical system is known as the motion of a dynamical system is known as degrees of freedom, known as degrees of freedom, or here I am writing DOF, that is degrees of freedom. And these independent coordinates are known as generalized coordinate and known as generalized coordinates. So what is this degrees of freedom? This is simply the total number of independent coordinates. This is basically independent, okay? It doesn't depend on the other coordinate. So the number of independent coordinate that is required to describe the motion of a dynamical system, that is known as the degrees of freedom, and these independent coordinates are known as the generalized coordinate. So for example, suppose if I will consider three-dimensional system. Suppose three-dimensional system I will consider. So for that case, the number of degrees of freedom for the three-dimensional system, number of degrees of freedom, if I will represent this as F. So the number of degrees of freedom F will be equal to 3n minus k. So this is the important relation, F equal to 3n minus k, where this n represents, where this capital N, this is equal to the number of particles present in a system, and this k defines the constraints present. The constraints are nothing but the restrictions. And similarly, if I will consider for the two-dimensional system, the number of degrees of freedom, suppose F here I am writing, this is equal to 2n minus k, and here also n represents the number of particles and k represents the constant. Similarly, you can write for the one-dimensional system. For the one-dimensional system, the number of degrees of freedom, its value will be F equal to n minus k. So in general, you can write, here you can see that in three-dimensional system, degrees of freedom is 3n minus k. For two-dimensional system, 2n minus k. For one-dimensional system, F equal to 1 into n minus k, or simply n minus k. So if I will consider in general, that is F dimension, if I will consider here for the F dimension, let me write for the F dimension. Suppose this is F dimension. So for that case, in general I can write, so for F equal to, F is the degrees of, let me write, this is suppose any other variable, let me write small n degrees of freedom, suppose n degrees of freedom. So for that case, I can write this degrees of freedom F will be equal to small n into capital N minus k. Okay, F represents the degrees of freedom, N represents the dimension, means 1D, 2D or 3D. This represents the dimension of the system, and this capital N represents the number of particles present, and this K represents the constant. Okay, this is the general expression. So if I will summarize the degrees of freedom, this is basically the independent coordinate, that is here we are subtracting the constants. Okay, constant means the restrictions. So in the last classes I have already given you an example about a circle. Suppose here I am considering a circle having its center is suppose O and its radius is suppose R, and here you can see that here in this circle there are two coordinates, you know, r and theta. And what is this theta? Suppose a particle is present at A point and after some time suppose it is present at B point. Then if I want to know the position of this particle when it changes its position from A to B, so in this condition I can take the coordinate r and theta. So here I will consider r and theta are the coordinates, because here I can consider this particle can move on the circumference of the circle and this particle can move inside the circle. But if I will give a constant, suppose now I will give a constant to this circle, that is constant to the particle. Suppose this is again the same circle and its radius is suppose r, and again this particle is at this position A. Now this constant, that is the restriction given to this particle, is that this particle can move only on the circumference of the circle. Only on the circumference of the circle means this particle cannot move inside this circle. This particle cannot move inside this circle if the condition, if I will give the restriction there, the particle cannot move. It cannot move inside the circle. It cannot move inside the circle, or I can say that it can only move on the circumference of the circle. Then this is the restriction or this is the constant. Now I can see that this radius r is constant over this. When I will consider at any point over this circumference, for every other point A, B, C, D, suppose at any point if I will consider, then its value will always be same, that is r. So this r will not affect when the body will move on the circumference of the circle. But this theta coordinate, only this theta coordinate will vary. So from these two coordinate r and theta, we are just subtracting this constant, that is this r constant, that is this is 1 constant, here I am subtracting. So this is 2 minus 1, so this will be equal to 1. So this 1 is the degrees of freedom of the particle. When the constant is given there, the particle can move only on the circumference of the circle. So in that condition, the degrees of freedom for the particle is 1. But when there will be no constant, that is the particle can move inside the circle as well as the circumference of the circle, in that condition the degrees of freedom is 2. But when we will give the constant to this particle, then the degrees of freedom reduces. Is that clear? Now let us see some more examples. Suppose here I will write, just try to write with me some more examples. Suppose here if I will write for a free particle, suppose free particle, just try to answer. Pause the video. Okay. So for a free particle, if I will consider, then what is the degrees of freedom? My question is, for a free particle, what is the degrees of freedom? Up to this much you know, in the three-dimensional system, your degrees of freedom 3n minus k, and for the two-dimensional system f equal to 2n minus k, and for the one-dimensional system f equal to n minus k. Okay. So for a free particle, free particle means a free particle. Okay. Here I am writing a free particle. So here this n is, the number of particle is 1 here. So here no constant is given. no restriction, so k equal to 0. So here f will be equal to, if I consider for the 3-dimensional system, this will be 3 into 1 in place of f equal to 3n minus k. Here I am substituting f equal to 3n minus k, n equal to 1 minus k is 0. So this f will be equal to 3. So its degrees of freedom will be equal to 3 for a free particle. Okay, and this is the same for the monoatomic gas. Now I will consider for the diatomic particle. Suppose here I am considering the diatomic gas. What is the degrees of freedom? Here I am calculating the degrees of freedom for the diatomic gas. So in this case, diatomic means there are two particles, that is n equal to 2. And what is the constant? Now see, suppose there are two atoms, diatomic. Now this particle, suppose this is in the 3-dimensional case I am considering, it has xyz 3 coordinates, and also this particle has 3 coordinate xyz. But in case of the diatomic molecule, here is a bond. In between this particle, they are attached with a bond. Their separation is fixed. For the diatomic molecule, this distance is fixed. So they cannot move independently in this direction particularly. So this is the constant. Only this direction is constant. Now I can say that k equal to 1. Simply k equal to 1. Or we can simply add this to, it has 3 degrees of freedom and it has independently it can move. If there is no restriction, if there is no constant, if I will consider the individual atom, then it has 3 degrees of freedom and it also has the 3 degrees of freedom. But since it is a diatomic gas, so here is the restriction. So this total 3 plus 3 is 6 and here I will subtract 1 constant. So total degrees of freedom is 5. Now I will put it in this formula. F equal to 3n minus k. This will be equal to 3 into 2 minus 1. Here also 6 minus 1 equal to 5. You can directly calculate or you can follow this process. Similarly, we can calculate for the triatomic gas. Let me calculate for the, suppose, triatomic gas. Just try to answer. Pause the video and solve by yourself. Okay. For the triatomic molecule, there are two cases. One is linear molecule and another one is non-linear molecule. So in case of linear molecule, linear means, the triatomic means basically there are 3 atoms. But this is linear case. In the linear case, here these are 3 atoms and they are attached in this way. These are the bond. Now here I can write there are number of particles n equal to 3 and what are the constant? Here you can see first particle is bonded with this second one like this and the second one have the bond with this third one. So there are 2 constants. Here you can see that this distances with respect to the particle, 1 with respect to 2 is fixed and 2 with respect to 3 is fixed. So there are 2 constants. Here there are 2 constants. Now the degrees of freedom F equal to 3n minus k. So this will be equal to 3 into 3, that is 9. Directly I am writing 9 minus 2, that will be equal to 7. This is for the linear case. But for the, if I will consider for the non-linear case, now here see, this is suppose non-linear molecule. In case of the non-linear triatomic molecule, here is the bond, here is the bond and also it can make the bond with this. So there are 1, 2, 3 constant. In case of the non-linear triatomic molecule, the bond can be formed in this way. So there are total 3 particles and total 3 constant. Constants means the restriction. This has, suppose this is A particle, B particle and C particle. The A particle and the B particle distance is fixed. Similarly, B with respect to C is fixed and A with respect to C is fixed. So the constant is K equal to 3. And similarly, if you can calculate the degrees of freedom, f equal to 3n minus k. So this will be 3 into 3, 9 minus 3. So that will be equal to 6. So for the non-linear triatomic molecule, the degrees of freedom is 6. Now we will see, this is for the three-dimensional system we have discussed. Okay. Now we will see more examples. Now suppose consider a simple pendulum. Now suppose for example we will consider a simple pendulum. So in case of a simple pendulum suppose it look like this is suppose my simple pendulum, and it can oscillate about its mean position. This is by making an angle suppose theta. So in this way it can oscillate. In this way it can oscillate. So now for the pendulum, for this pendulum, this distance is L. This distance is L and this distance is also L. So that distance L is fixed. Okay, that distance L is fixed. So it only depends on this angle theta. So simply we can say that f will be equal to, the degrees of freedom will be equal to 1. But if I will calculate mathematically, if I write the formula f equal to, here you can see there are 2 degrees of freedom, L and theta. In general, if you can, this is not degrees of freedom actually, you can see there are 2 coordinates to describe the system, that is L and theta. Then if I will calculate f equal to, the degrees of freedom equal to 2n minus k, then here n equal to 1. This n equal to 1, here it is 1 particle. And what is the constant? Here the constant is also 1. Why? Because this distance L is fixed. So that coordinate is 1 coordinate, that is L equal to 1. This is 1 coordinate. So here I can write n is 1 and k is 1. So this is 2 into 1 minus 1. So that will be equal to 1. So here the degrees of freedom for a simple pendulum, when the length is fixed, so in that condition f equal to 1. But in this case, if I will consider spring pendulum, this is simple pendulum. If I will consider spring pendulum, suppose this is spring pendulum suppose. So in case of spring pendulum, I will show you. Suppose here is my spring pendulum. This is the mean position. This is the mean position, and here is my spring pendulum at this position, and here is the bob, and it can oscillate again about this mean position. And here you can see this angle is theta, but this length, because of this spring, that spring is not fixed, that length is not fixed. Okay, while it will oscillate about its mean position, L is not fixed here. So here the degrees of freedom will be 2. Here the degrees of freedom is 2. Suppose if I will consider one is L and another is theta, so then I can say that here the degrees of freedom is 2. Now suppose this is the last example. Now suppose consider a simple harmonic oscillator. Simple harmonic oscillator. It means that suppose here a mass is attached with a spring. This mass M is attached with the spring, and here this is fixed. This bar is fixed. Then in this condition, we can say here the degrees of freedom is how much? You can see this mass can move only in one direction. Because of this spring, it can move in left hand side or it can move in the right hand side, but it has only one coordinate, we can say. So here the degrees of freedom is 1. And similarly, as I have already told you, in case of a suppose sphere, you know the coordinates are r, theta and phi. These are the 3 coordinates when there is no restriction, that is a particle, if a particle can move inside the sphere or on the circumference of the sphere, in that case there are 3 degrees of freedom. But when I will give a constraint, or if I will give a restriction to the particle that it can move only on the circumference of the sphere, only on this way, and it cannot move inside the sphere, in that case the constant is 1. When the constant is 1, So in that case we can say that the degrees of freedom will be 2. That is, the generalized coordinates are theta and phi. Okay, the generalized coordinates are those coordinates which are independent in nature. That is, as we have already discussed, that the number of independent coordinates required to describe the motion of a dynamical system, it is known as the degrees of freedom, and that independent coordinate are nothing but the generalized coordinate. Okay, this is a very important topic in this particularly classical dynamics. So in the next lecture we will see about the constant and the types of constant. So if you have any doubt, can ask me in the comment section. This is all for today. Thank you.